This is Beyond Borders with Chad, and I'm coming to you live from my city of Pittsburgh. All right, here's story time. Story time. And I decided to come down to the water in Pittsburgh, my current city, to have this little story time and discuss, for those of you who have any interest in it at all, how I actually got to the process of being an Italian landowner now. If you haven't seen what's been going on in our country, frankly, for about a decade, he ain't watching. And I decided some time ago that I was going to leave here. I've lived in Greece, I've lived in Prague, I've lived in Bulgaria, I've lived in Costa Rica, I have lived in Brazil, I've lived in Cyprus, and in all those places that I've lived, I always thought of the United States as my safe place. Could always come home and know that things would be normal and people would at least be decent to each other. Well, I'm not good at doing crazy, undercover or otherwise, so about last year, I really started being active about my search for another place to live. I have been to 60 different countries now, and Italy was the one that really felt like it did it for me. It does it for me. Been there several times. I thought I was going to find a place in Sardinia, and the reason why I started documenting this is because I wanted to just kind of show the full experience of getting to where I would be living in Italy. On a lot of these channels, people just kind of show up and they walk in the door and they're like, oh, I'm in my beautiful Italian villa, and all of a sudden it's on. Either they're renovating it or they're talking about their lifestyle, and usually they're renovating it. And I think that's great, but nobody says to anybody what it actually looks like getting to that place. And I knew I was having some difficulties getting there, so I figured I would kind of give a recap of kind of how I've gotten there at this point. So usually, obviously nowadays everything starts online. You just start looking, and I started looking, houses in Italy, and no idea of what websites were the best or any of that. And what I did find is that Idealista seems to be the biggest one. But I was looking, I'm a deal finder, right? And I was looking for something for the auction space. And so there are different auction space websites that you can really dig in deep with, but I found Idealista, and within, it took me a while. I mean, I've been looking at properties in Italy for probably 2 or 3 years now, and finally, after November, when I kind of thought, yeah, things are going to get crazy around here, I started this real serious search and on that website. during that time, I, clicked speak with an agent, and I got at like 2 a.m, because isn't that when everybody watches their Zillow porn, right? And I got a immediate response back. God, it's hot out here. It's gonna be hotter in Italy. Woo-hoo. Anyway, I got a pretty much immediate response back, and the person on the other end of the internet, said, what are you looking for, so forth. And I started a conversation with them. And they were able to it worked in a couple of different ways, because I was talking to an auction company. So first of all, she sent me a bunch of stuff and then said, if you wanna, pay us money, we can handle your whole process of, finding a place and closing on it. And I thought, okay, well, that's great. And she'd send me the listings, and all of a sudden it was just easier, because you're dealing with somebody that's of an agent kind of designation. And I found places over and over again, and finally they were like, okay, so it's gonna cost, several hundreds of dollars. I think it was like $600 or something to sign up with them, to have them work with me through the whole process. And it may have been even more than that, but I figured it was worth it, because I don't speak Italian yet, and I don't know exactly what that's going to look like in a transaction, a legal transaction, and all that money. So I pay the money, and because I found something that I really thought this is going to be it, and I pay the money, and I get to make an offer on this property. They do it for me, and it's an auction property, which a lot of the stuff on Idealista is auction property, are auction properties, because there's just a huge volume of foreclosed properties in Italy, and once you hear the story, you'll understand why. But I end up making an offer on one, and it ends up being a no-go, because when my wire went from my bank, the woman did not consider that, you had to meet the minimum on the bid, but she didn't consider that it was going to go over, and then they were going to charge me on the other side for the wire for $50. So at a place near Puglia that I put this bid on, it was against one other person, and I was ready to go over asking price for it. It literally was on like one side of the street was the house, and then on the other side was the ocean, the beach, which for me, that's like, that was going to be it, I wanted to be within 30 minutes of the beach, but if I could get on the beach, it would be even better, right? And put that offer in, and I end up losing the bid, and they're like while I'm sitting there on the phone and on the internet with this representative, she's like, I don't know why, because they had the person that sold sent the listings over, and then you identify which listing it is that you want to get more information about, and then they send you over the appraisal, which has about, 6, 7, in my case had about, the first one had more pictures, maybe 10 pictures. And then it also talks about like the legal status of the property, if there's any deformities, and so forth. So you read through that, you make your offer, and when I made my offer, my minimum offer against the other person, they ended up having taken the $50 charge or €50 charge off of my minimum offer, which made it so that my offer was dead in the water, which actually worked out all right, because at the end of the day, that property was a townhome, and the property I have now is a villa, single, standing alone. So I prefer that myself. It's not on the beach, but it is within a 20-minute drive of the Tyrrhenian Sea. So as months go by, I'm looking, I'm just trying to find that right place. It had to have an orange tree or a lemon tree, and I find one, I think it was like, two other places, and I go through the appraisal stuff, and for whatever reason, like one of them was in Messina, and that place had someone still living in it who was elderly or older, and in Italy, they have a thing where you can basically take out a mortgage and then file some other document, and after you file that other document, it says you can stay there until you die, and it makes it so even if they foreclose on you and somebody else bought the property, you can't get them out. And then there were, like I said, there were a couple that just didn't work out. And then finally one day, my interpreter representative called me and said, Richard, this one just came out and this is available. And I decided to take a look at it, and I got the appraisal, and I was just in love, really, with it. I thought, I can deal with a little further away from the beach versus having this big villa. And so we decided to make an offer on it, and I ended up being the only bidder. And being the only bidder, I just wanted it, and I didn't want to screw around. So I paid, probably 20% more than I needed to on this property. And then it's like, okay, well, how long is it going to take to put this all together? And I was told it was going to be about 90 days. And I was like, that's super awesome, 90 days. That'll get me out of here before things get wicked crazy. Well, things got wicked crazy. And if you've been following me, the people that were in there hadn't paid their mortgage in 30 years. And that made it so that, it was not only an auction property, it's a foreclosure, and it was a foreclosure that was going to require getting the people out. My interpreter told me that the court delegate had been familiar with the property for a long time, and there wasn't a lot of furniture in there, and they were ready to go, and it turned out that they weren't ready to go. But I was under contract with it, and you have I think it's like 60 days to, your initial offer, you have to have the money for, and then you have like 60 days to get the court the money, and I got the court the money, and then I found out, oh boy, they won't leave, they're not interested in leaving. So I ended up going through this whole year of 2 lawsuits, one on me, and then finally the last one on the court delegate, and then that held up the transfer document to transfer the deed to me. And at that point, my money's sitting overseas, and there's no getting it back real quick. So I was like, all right, I just gotta wait this out and wait it out. I did, and now here we are, basically a year later, and I've been assigned the property, the deed's been transferred, the property is mine. I have 120 days to get these people out of there. But I wanted to start this channel to, like I said, show the whole process, so people aren't under the impression that you just pull a trigger and like 30 days you're in your place, you bought a place in Italy, and you've got cash, you're a tough guy. Now, nope, it's not that way. And if you're using, a mortgage of some sort, it would be even more complex. I don't even know what that would look like. But I wanted to not just be one of those people that gets there and opens the door and says, I'm here. I wanted people to understand that this is something that's a process that can take much longer. It is, it's not like American real estate. So you have to be prepared for that part. Now, in the next 120 days, they have 60 days to leave peacefully, and then another 60 to leave with the assistance of the cops. And then I'll get a call somewhere between now and that time. At the November 17th, I'll get a random call. Wake up at 7 or whatever, and I'll look at my WhatsApp, and they'll be like, Richard, your keys are ready. You need to be here straight away. And I'm going to have to hop on that plane. But that's kind of where this actually starts. I'm going to be probably a little light with the travel content for the moment, because I'm trying to at least have some cash to install cameras, maybe make some light repairs, hopefully get to putting a kitchen in there straight away, because usually in Europe, when they sell a property, they yank out the lights and the light fixtures in the kitchen. And I'm going to need to paint. I'm going to need to buy furniture. I have to figure out what buying the car looks like. And there's going to be a whole journey that goes on from that perspective. But for this particular video, it's more of a warning to people, or just a lesson where I found a teachable moment, and I thought I would use that so that people know, if you're looking to move to Italy, you've got to get on it a lot earlier than maybe you think. And it's unlikely that it's going to be really fast, especially if you're buying an auction property, because effectively they are foreclosed properties and they are sold as is. I'm going to keep you updated as we go along here while I stay in my lovely Pittsburgh until they give me that last minute call. And then I'll do some commuting back and forth while I'm getting the place ready. I am really excited because, in so many ways I've done it, right? I got the house. Now it's just the devil's in the details. But I want to thank you for joining me as you have. It's not like I've got, 24 million subscribers and, all these hundreds of thousands of likes and views and stuff. But this is, I guess, my gig. And if you like what you see, like and subscribe. It helps us with the algorithm on the channel. And definitely follow and comment. If you've got some questions about what this looked like, a little more specific, I am glad to share the exact fashion that this happened in. My auction was also a letter auction, like where the money has to be there or the check has to be there, and they do it in person versus just online. So won the auction online, but had submitted my offer through the auction company, and they take care of everything all the way to getting to where the judge actually does the transfer of the property. You get your keys, and then they'll even help you set up your utilities, and then you're kind of on your own. But I've lived in, it's like 6 or 7 different countries, the Czech Republic, Cyprus, Bulgaria, one of my favorites, maybe my favorite so far, I've lived in Costa Rica, I lived in Brazil, and I have traveled to like 60 different countries. So it takes a lot to put me off, and this year almost did, but I'm really close to the finish line of getting in there now. And once I get in there, there should be a lot of watch Chad do his design thing, because there's some work to do. Thanks for watching again, and all that like and subscribe stuff, and we will catch you next time.